All right, welcome to your Algebra 3 final review. This is our final video in our very long series of videos. We're reviewing for the T1 final. We're doing numbers 48, 49, and 50. We're going to use the quadratic formula. I'm excited, mostly because I'm almost done making these videos, but it's going to be great. Okay, remember your quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I do this in two parts. My first part is going to be finding our discriminant, which is this little guy here. That's going to tell me how many solutions I'll have, and then from there we'll actually find our solution. So the first thing I need to do is figure out a, b, and c. I know a is -1, b is 6, and c is -5. As a reminder, it's ax squared plus bx plus c, all equal to 0. So a is your number in front of x squared, b is in front of x, and c is the one on its own. We're going to plug that all into b squared minus 4ac. So I really have 6 squared minus 4 times -1 times -5. If I do that, 6 squared gives me 36. -4 times the -1 is a +4 times -5 is a -20. So this guy is going to be 36 minus 20, which is 16. Now this is our discriminant here. We're going to plug that in a moment. Let's do this. I'm going to highlight it because this guy is going right here in my equation. Remember, if you get a discriminant that is positive, let's use an actual pen here, you're going to have two real solutions at the end. So at the very end, I should have two numbers or fractions or something, and it shouldn't have any i's involved. All right, we're going to use that big long formula up there. So we have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Did I need to rewrite it? I don't know. I did. And we're going to plug in whatever we know. So I know that x equals negative b, so -6 plus or minus the square root. Underneath my square root, we're going to put 16 because that was our little discriminant. So we plug that part in here. And then we have that all divided by 2 times a, which is -1. Now if I simplify, I have -6 plus or minus the square root of 16 is 4 all over 2 times -1, which is -2. Now at this point, I'm going to split into two parts. Let's do it in blue. My first part, we're going to have -6 plus 4 over -2. My second part, we're going to have -6 minus 4 over -2. And we're just going to simplify. My first one on top, we have what? -6 plus 4, which is -2 over -2, which is the same as 1. My second one, we are going to end up with -6 minus 4, which is -10 over -2, which is 5. And those are my two answers, 1 and 5. All right, my next one, we have -2x squared minus 5x plus 5. Again, we're going to use the quadratic formula. First, I'm going to figure out a, b, and c. I know a equals -2, b is -5, and c is 5. We're going to plug it all into b squared minus 4ac first. We're going to find our discriminant. So I really have -5 squared minus 4 times -2 times 5. When I simplify that, I would have 25. And then -4 times -2 is 8 times 5 is 40. So plus 40, which gives me a 65. Again, this is our discriminant. We have that big, long, fabulous formula, which is x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That number we just found, the 65, that's going to go in place of b squared minus 4ac. We'll just do this all in yellow. So for my next one, we're going to have equals -b, so -5, plus or minus the square root of 65 all over 29. Oh, sorry, 2a, which is really going to be 2 times -2. Now we're going to simplify a little bit. So I really have 5 plus or minus. And then to simplify 65, we want to find a perfect square that goes into 65. Do I know if there exists such a number? No, but let's try to find one. It's for sure not going to be 64. Remember, I always start at like my square number that's closest to it. So if you look at my board, there's like a row of pink numbers. 64 is close to it. I can't divide it by it. My next closest is 49, which again, not going to work. Then we have 36, which really won't work. Then we have, 25, which won't go into 65. We have 16, which I'm like pretty sure won't go into 65, but let's, try it. Nope. We have, that was 4, 3, 9, which I know does not go into 65. We have 4, doesn't go into 65, and we have 1. So that tells me there isn't one. So we can actually leave it as the square root of 65. And then all divided by 2 times -2, which is a -4. Now, you can leave this as your answer. That's an option. Or you could write it as, let's use an actual pen. You could write it as 5 plus the square root of 65 over -4, or 5 minus the square root of 65 over -4. Again, I don't know which one your wonderful final is going to do, but these would both work. This would work on its own. Either option will do. All right, our last one. Get excited. Number 50. Whew. We have -4x squared plus x minus 4. Again, we need everything on the same side, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. When I do that, I'm going to have -4x squared plus x plus 4 equals 0. We're going to start out by finding our a, b, and c values. So we have a is -4, b is 1, and c is 4. And then we're going to plug it all into b squared minus 4ac, which will be 1 squared minus 4 times -4 times +4, which is really the same as 1 plus 64, which is 65. Why 65 again? That's so stupid. But alas, that's how the problem worked. All right, so we're going to have x equals -b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Again, as my friendly reminder, excuse me, this number here, 222, is going to go in for these guys here, 222. So really, we're going to have x, let's use a pen, x equals -b, so -1 plus or minus the square root of 65, all over 2 times -4. If we simplify, we really have -1 plus or minus the square root of 65, all over -8. Technically, these negatives kind of cancel each other out. So I would say your final answer is 1 plus or minus the square root of 65, all over 8. Again, you could break it up like the last one. You can leave it like this. It does not matter. Congratulations. You've made it to the end of your final review videos. I hope you are well prepared for your final. Good luck. I think you'll do great.